The process to make a pot takes many more steps than most people realize. The actual forming of the pot is rather quick. So first, the potter must do a step called wedging. And this is a more labor-intensive step where the clay is pushed and smashed in a particular way to get out any air bubbles and to homogenize the clay. If wedging doesn't happen, then the clay can be very difficult to work with on the potter's wheel. But until the clay is fired in the kiln, it can be used again and again until the potter is satisfied with the finished product. Even dry clay can be rehydrated, or wet clay can be left to dry for a while to reach the desired consistency. Once the moisture level is correct, the potter can wedge the clay again and begin to form it. The first step on the potter's wheel is called centering. In order to center the clay, the potter must be unmovable, so the clay is forced into the center of the wheel. If the potter isn't firm, the clay won't center. And if the clay isn't centered, it won't be able to be formed correctly. It would have uneven walls, be very wonky, or even collapse. Once the clay is centered, the potter can open it up and begin to compress the clay to create its base. The compression of the clay forces the clay particles to become more compact, which makes it stronger. After the base is formed, the walls can be pulled upwards. The potter does this multiple times until the desired wall thickness is reached from the bottom of the pot to the top. Then the potter can begin forming the desired shape, carefully and slowly moving the clay with their fingers or with tools. Before taking the piece off of the wheel, the potter can choose to add some surface decoration at this stage by applying really wet clay called slip and manipulating it. The piece then needs to dry slowly in a moisture-controlled environment to prevent cracking, but before it's dried fully, the pot needs to be trimmed. At this stage, the potter can trim the bottom of the pot to the desired shape by placing the piece upside down on the wheel and using sharp tools to take away clay, refining the shape and creating a flat foot for the pot to sit evenly on its base so it doesn't wobble. The potter can choose to add more surface design by carving when the clay is at this moisture level. The pot then goes back into a moisture-controlled environment to finish drying. And once dry, the pot gets fired in the kiln at a very high heat. Now it's considered bisqueware, and at this stage, the clay cannot be rehydrated and reformed, but the pot is also not quite ready for its final purpose yet. This is where the potter finalizes the appearance of the piece by adding color through glaze or through stains. Glaze is used to seal the pot with a layer of glass that fuses to the clay at high heat, allowing the pot to hold water or making a functional pot safe for eating or drinking from. Now the pot is fired again at an even higher temperature, and once cooled, it's ready to serve its desired purpose.